Hey, we're here in 2021, kind of laying out a plan for Jeff and family. Haven't been back since then, so we're really excited to go tour the property and see what they've accomplished. Working here in Georgia today, laying out a wildlife habitat and hunting improvement plan, and we're in a beautiful old stand of pines, and it's not old, probably 35 years, give or take a little bit, but old for most pine trees these days. But the way this was been managed in the past, there's very little sun. We look around, it's mainly shade on the floor. I'm with Jeff in very eastern Georgia, and Jeff and I met in 2021. We came down, Jeff invited us down to lay out a plan for his property. And Jeff, I just want you, if you will, walk through, tell us, like right behind us, what was this when you and I met?
Well, what you considered it was a biological desert because there was nothing but pine trees and sweet gums taller than we were, and nothing but pine straw on the floor.
This is, golf course pretty, I guess you'd call it. Looks like someone put pine straw everywhere. Of course, they didn't have just fallen down. You can walk through it real easy. But if you're a quail or a turkey or a deer, this is Starvation Alley. There's nothing here. It's a biological desert for that type of life. So what we want to do and what we're going to prescribe is to come in and harvest some of these trees. There's some nice trees in here. Harvest some of these so we can have wood to build America and do good stuff with, and let more sun come through, get more sun down, and then we use prescribed fire to convert all these pine needles and bark and stuff that's fallen over time into slow release fertilizer. And you look at this now, it's a carpet of needles, and this will become alive with native grasses and forbs and be outstanding wildlife habitat. The only way to get there is harvest some trees, let more sun get down to the forest floor, and just as importantly in this type of habitat, drop a match and get some prescribed fire going. Tell us the steps, that's been through. You've done a lot of work here, had contractors. What happened? Just kind of a quick timeline of what happened.
Yeah, so when you came here, you laid out the initial plan, which was basically all the food plots, gave me the idea of thinning, and we hired the contractors to come in to do the thinning. They took out all the sweet gums.
When you said took out sweet gums, they were taking out marketable sweet gums, not the little...
No, yeah, not just there. They were, that big around, and took out all the sweet gums and then thinned the pines. And then from there, the sweet gums came back with a vengeance, just like you said they would, all about that high.
Oh, yeah.
They went through, we had them all sprayed, and then in March of this year, we had them, had the whole place burned, so.
And in this case, you had a hand crew spray it, right? Some guys with probably real tall wands coming out of their backpack?
That's correct, yeah. There was a group of 3 people with backpack sprayers that sprayed the 150 acres out here, so.
Yeah, 150 acres. So now there are no sweet gums. Here's trifoliate orange, which can be a real issue in the south, and almost all those have been terminated too.
They have, as well as beautyberry. Beautyberry, they didn't know if it would take out the beautyberry, but we had a really big population of beautyberry back there, and it's pretty much gone.
Yeah, and so now we've got a big diversity of green stuff. There was, I'm gonna say, you check my oil on this, and you tell the truth, right? But I'm gonna say there's more green right behind us, this little, whatever we're seeing, an acre, whatever we are, than was on the whole property. Would you say that's correct?
I would say that's correct, other than some grass on the road, but yes, that's correct.
Yeah.
Within the woods, there was no green within the woods.
No green. It was a true biological desert, unless you're a pine straw person.
That's correct.
Took out the marketable sweet gums.
That's right.
Harvested pines.
Correct.
Applied a Mazapir or Arsenal herbicide.
That's correct.
And then had a fire.
That's correct.
The fire was when?
The fire was in mid-March.
This March?
This year, this year.
We're not seeing real tall vegetation because just 2 months ago.
That's correct.
But it's green and a variety of species. We've already found cinchweed briar and some native vetches, legumes, really good deer food. So it's coming on.
It is. Yeah, we're very pleased with it and look forward to what's coming in the next few years. So.
And already you're seeing, don't let me put words in your mouth, but I think I heard you say you're seeing more turkeys now than you were seeing.
We are seeing a lot more turkeys now, a lot more turkey and a ton more deer.
Ton more deer already.
And you shared with me that, you and your son, maybe another guy was out, and I think between the three of y'all, you saw 25 deer or something in one afternoon or
We
something
did.
like that.
One evening we got back to the camp and counted up, and we were floored with how many deer we saw. Before we would see two, maybe there's been sits where they've seen none. So
Seen none.
yeah,
And you pretty reliably see deer now.
we do.
I know
yeah.
riding around we saw a couple
Just
deer
a
over
couple
here.
of them jumping through. Yeah.
Yeah. So what advice would you give to someone, has got a southern pine stand like this, and they're going, man, and pine prices are really low right now. A lot of people, I don't, would you do this again?
Oh, I would do it in a heartbeat. I sure would. Yeah. It takes a little more time, longer than maybe you think, but getting it thin, and as you told me, getting the sunlight to the floor, and I had no idea that there was this natural seed bed that was down here that was going to grow. So
there's a hardwood stand over here. We just went by it. I would say close to zero sunlight hitting the ground. Hadn't been thinned yet, right?
that is correct.
But that was your whole property.
That's correct.
It was just dark. In the daytime, it'd be dark.
That's correct.
And we're just after lunch now, a little bit after lunch, and you can see, I don't know, 60, 70% sun hitting the ground, something like that. I mean, we got pine trees out, we got some shade,
Yep.
but I'd say it's more than 50% is lit up right now,
That's right.
on average throughout the property.
At least, yes, sir.
Yeah. So pines, in some ways, are actually easier to manage than hardwoods because we can use that one-time herbicide application. In hardwoods, we're going tree to tree, hacking, squirting, girdling, spraying, doing something to control unwanted hardwoods.
That's right.
Jeff and I were just talking, and I define a weed as a plant that's growing somewhere you don't want it to grow. If you got your favorite tree stand on a sweet gum, that tree's not a weed, right? But 99% of the time, they're a weed somewhere.
That's right.
So we don't have many weeds here. You got a little Sericea lespedeza that was here when you purchased the property, mainly on the roads, because that's the only place to get enough sunshine for it to grow.
That's right.
And I've just shared with Jeff, I want him to treat that, or I've advised him to treat that this summer before it made seeds, because now we got this open area, it could spread a lot. And it's a very invasive plant. And we've seen a stalk or two of Johnson grass. Remember back in the day, this was all farm back in the day, so there's a lot of seed in here that weren't anything to do with native plants. Sure. So couple stems of Johnson grass we're going to take care of. I mean, a little patch of thistle by the old home place.
That's right.
But the vast majority of property, I'm not even seeing thistle. So this has been pines for 30 plus years that we know of, just based on the age of these trees.
That's correct.
So pretty pure seed bank. And you're seeing deer, you're seeing turkey. And the big question now, I'm going to be candid here. I was told, I did not get to meet Jeff's wife, but I was told she wasn't real keen on removing a bunch of trees.
That's correct.
Is that true?
Well, he wasn't as much keen on the property until the trees got removed, and then she saw the beauty once it gets removed and what all grows, and yeah, and then the wildlife that you get to see on morning walks, evening walks. It's really neat.
Yeah, and wildflowers and stuff like
correct.
that. My wife's the same way. When Tracy and I have been married for many decades, and boy, back in the early days, I was talking about killing some trees, and she thought our marriage may not be too stable at that point, but now she loves it.
Well, thank you for putting the plan in place to allow all this to happen. And it really did. It started with that, looking at your videos, getting you on property, you painting the picture, and then you get to see the painting as it's unfolding here.
Growing Deer is brought to you by Bass Pro Shops and Cabela's. Also by Green Cover Food Plots, Winchester, PH Outdoors, Moultrie Mobile, Steel, Fleet Outdoor Apparel, Morel Targets, Fourth Arrow, Scorpion Venom Archery, Case IH Tractors, Ward Laboratories, Burris Optics, G5 Broadheads, Prime Bows, and Redneck Hunting Blinds.
This is kind of like another stage of Jeff's project. He wants to come in here and thin out these hardwoods. We're talking about maybe taking out several hickories and some of the understory, the 4 and 5 inch trees.
Right.
You can do this hack and squirt on your own and see how much light comes through then. You don't have to do it all in one day.
That's right.
And then, if you're not liking the amount of light, you can come in and take some more lower quality trees, leave your better oaks until you get the habitats you want.
That's right. So that's one of the questions I had for you. What time of year would I go in and do either the hack and squirt or the double girl?
Well, a couple reasons to do it during now, the growing season. Once the leaves are fully formed,
okay,
and until they start changing colors, hack and squirt works fine. In the winter, when the sap's not moving as much, it doesn't work as good.
Okay.
And then the second, and hack and squirt is quicker, right? hack, squirt, that tree's dead, it doesn't know it yet, versus a chainsaw. Chainsaws work fine, but chainsaw to girdle. Second reason is, with all the leaves on, you can tell how much light you're getting through. If you do it in the winter, you can't really tell if you're making a difference or not, right?
Yeah, good point. Yeah.
So for this project, I like summer much better. Jeff, man, again, I really appreciate you letting Daniel and I come by. I want to just heartfelt congratulate you. You've done a huge amount of work quick, and you're allowing us to share, to hopefully encourage other people to take care of their land. Whether we help them with the plan or someone else does, I'm not talking that. I'm talking have a good plan and do what's right for your woods. It's going to pay benefits in the long run. From a hunting point of view and even financially, the aesthetics of this property, I believe, is worth way more than whatever timber value you gave up.
Oh, sure.
You know, and so you've done well from a long-term investment point of view. And I don't think we can put a value on, you're talking about earlier, seeing more deer, seeing more turkey, just enjoying being out here. I don't think we can put a value on that.
No, it's hard to, yeah.
And one last thing I'll share before I get out of here, because, you know, I live where there's a lot of ticks, but when you get this much sun hitting the ground, it tends to desiccate ticks and reduce tick pop. Ticks got to have moisture. And so we manage all populations like you're seeing way more turkeys, you've improved the habitat. If we just left this being a closed canopy forest and sweet gum, you'd probably see less and less turkeys, right? No nesting, no breeding habitat.
Right.
Well, ticks are the same. If we improve the habitat, closed canopy, deep leaves, it's better and better tick habitat because they're moist. If you open it up, the air is flowing through, it dries out or desiccates a bit more, it's not near as good a tick habitat, and those populations will decline. And then you add your frequent burns in here, that population can really decline. Won't annihilate them because you're gonna have better food than your neighbors, and deer, you know, spend some time with neighbors, come over here and eat and shed some ticks. You're not gonna get rid of them, but you can certainly reduce that population, which that's almost worth it all to me right there.
That's absolutely great.
Man, I really appreciate y'all tuning in today, and again, Jeff, for sharing with us. And even more important in these techniques is taking time to enjoy creation, as Jeff was talking earlier. And even more important than that is spend time intentionally seeking the Creator's will and applying it to your life. Thanks for watching Growing Deer.